So bro, in 2024 I can't seem to make any whack music. This beat is crazy, bro. This beat is super crazy, and I want to break it down to show you how I put everything together so you can take a listen, because in my previous video I showed you a track that I made to completion, and I promise I'm also gonna complete this track. I promise I am definitely gonna make sure to complete it and release it. Here, shake my hand, I promise. This is between me and you. I'm promising you I'm gonna finish this one. So what I did with this track, the key thing that I did was that I played with some melodic sounds and then made sure that my melodics and my bass fits well together, and then everything else just came super easy because those two or three elements, you know, worked well together. So here are my melodies. So the first one is this Blue Cavern melody sound here. So it's a simple sound, simple notes, like you can just see the notes right down here. That's it, and I played the sound in retro synth, so it's a retro synth sound. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. So it's in retro synth. So that's the sound here, right? So the sound is pretty cool, and what I also did with this sound is it also has some automation on it, so you can see the automation right there. So if I play this track from here, so you heard how it opened up like that and then it closed back down right here. Let me play that again if you missed it. And then there's also my second melodic element that I added in here, which is this dark space pluck. So if I go back here, you'll see it. So it's just playing something simple. So here's how it sounds if I add this second melody and play it with the first melody. That nice and simple, like bum 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 bum, is just playing really nice and simple. So this is the dark space pluck, and it's a sound that is found in Alchemy. Super simple sound, sounds really dope, and I kept the effects on it because without the effects, if I turn all of these off, it doesn't sound too good, but with all these effects on, it sounds pretty dope. It sounds pretty good. I like how it sounds, and it's got some delay on it right here as well. So you can see it doesn't have that delay, but with that delay, see how it's bouncing around in the stereo field. That sounds pretty cool, so I like that. And then the next thing I added was bass, and this is a guitar bass. You can see it says muted bass here, so this is a muted electric bass. It sounds like this, but I just played an octave lower. It sounds pretty cool. So here's the bassline sound right here. So this is my bassline for the track. Super simple. It doesn't do so much, it just keeps repeating that note. So it's going from an F to a D, right? So F, D, just going up and down like that, and then that's it. And then what I also want to show you is what I did with the kick. So the first kick that I added here was kind of like a top kick. So you see what my top kick is doing right there. So it just goes on for like 8 bars, and then after that I dropped in like my full sound kick, like my powerful kick that just comes in with all the frequency range. So this kick is actually in a loop, but I just isolated the kick because I just wanted the kick from that loop. So there you have it. So that's the kick right there. And then going down to other sounds, I've got this sound called the Blue Cavern right here. So it's just going bow. So this is the sound. That's all it's doing, this sound. And then next up I added this buzzy pluck sound. And the previous sound, I also found it in retro synth. It's called the Blue Cavern. So the next sound is the buzzy pluck, right? So this one is in sculpture. So it's just playing one note, this sound here. Just this one note. That sounds pretty cool. And then next I added a sound from Retro Synth, which is this plugin here, and it's called the Cloudy Plugged Synth. Did you hear it? It's just going. It's just those notes. I felt that they really filled in the track really nicely. So they're just accenting the bass with some frequencies that were empty in the track. So that's why I just added that, to just fill in those low mid frequencies that were not occupied by any sound. And then after that, we can start going down to some more drum sounds. So I just got this cymbal here from this drum kit here, which is the Logic drum kit sound designer. So you see, it's a full-fledged like drum kit for like rock music and other genres that that need these kinds of drums. For me, I just like to use these as percussive sounds because if I like how they sound, I just can play around with them. That sounds really cool. I like how that sounds, so I just wanted to throw that in. I can always throw samples, but sometimes I'm too lazy to process the samples. And if something is already processed for you, it's just super simple because I like how it has some ambient effects to it. It sounds really good and clean. And then after that, I wanted to add another sound right here. Getting closer to the build-up section. It's a really nice snare. I like how it's punchy, so I just threw that on there. And then the next sound is the Steinway grand piano that I threw on there. So that's kind of what I played in the track. Now listen to what I did to this piano, how it added a really nice flavor to the track. You must add some classy sounds to your tracks so that they sound super professional, because sometimes we add really cheesy sounds but we forget to add something that adds a little bit of musical stuff into it. So here are the notes down here, because I played some single notes like these ones here, and then I also played a chord right here. So this is how it sounds. Just like that. That's what that added there. So it just went just like that. It played a really nice thing. So what I just did, just like that, and it sounds super dope. And then after that, I started to just add some real nice ear candy to fill up percussions and everything. So there's a percussion that I threw in around this section here, which you can see here. So this is the day and night percussion. So it's adding some really nice ear candy to the track. And then on this first section here, I added this good guy percussion here. I like this sound because it's adding kind of like a scratchy background sound to it, just making the beat more interesting and less empty. And then next up, I added this ocean blue percussion. It's adding that nice groove to it. that nice groove, and it sounds super good. And I also added another sound here, which is this infinite variation pattern here. Let me just loop that section right there. I just thought this sound would be really nice if I built it up like on the second break and build up, so I can just throw that in there and maybe just open it up with some nice automation and stuff like that. So this is the sound. So you can play it as chords, but I like to play, you know, as melody. Just like that. That's how I played it, right? And then I also throw in another loop right here. You hear that? Just to add that, you know, that white noise effect to it right there. And another percussion sound that I threw in there is this dramatic sound. So without the sound, the beat sounds like this. And with it, oh, that is a super nice groove, bro. And then the rest of the sounds are just like, you know, FX sound, just to, you know, bring up everything and also just set everything down around the section here. These sound really sick, bro. They sound really good. And now all together, now the track just came together like that. That's how I put all these elements together. It sounds pretty cool. So let me just play it one more time so you can hear how it sounds. So I'm gonna play it from here. So that's it, that's the track. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of this track. If you want to check out everything and if you want to use the same sounds that I use on all of my music, check out the links in the description. You can buy all my sound packs and get everything that I use for my music. And you can tell from most of the plugins in here, I was using just stock Logic plugins, nothing extra, nothing overly over the top when it comes to plugins, because composition is everything. That's why for me I focus on this keyboard so that I play everything nicely. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.